The strains of Gangnam Style drift across Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque, while from the opposite direction can be heard the heavy drum beats of a Ugandan dance combo. And if that isn't enough to have you checking your calendar whether April the 1st has come and gone, I can tell you it's now official. The polar ice caps have extended south all the way to Italy, or so I'm led to believe. It's actually mid-July, and your favourite podcaster has travelled way beyond the call of duty trying to get to the Western Han Dynasty burial tombs at Dabaotai in the Fentai district of southwest Beijing. But wouldn't you just know it, the tombs are closed for refurbishment, probably for the next 2 years. And having travelled for the past 1.5 hours to get here, what else can one do? Answer: why not visit the World Park, just a 15-minute walk away? I was last here 5 years ago, but there's now a subway station nearby, though the 60 RMB entrance fee has now increased to 100 RMB. With the high humidity, the 37 degrees we're experiencing today actually feels like 52, draining everyone of energy, while rivulets run down people's faces and backs. Not a pretty sight. A number of wedding couples are having their pre-wedding photos taken. Maybe they will show off their world-beating travels at a later date, convincing others of how far and wide they've visited on their honeymoons. I spy a bride-to-be standing on a terraced wall. "Don't jump!" She doesn't. Phew. All around us are classical Italian statues. What is it about the Italians that they're so keen on showing off sculptures of pubes to all and sundry? I mean, did Hercules really have no shame? It's not as if he was even well endowed. Did the girls really flutter their eyelashes at him, or just giggle behind their hands when he threw out a passing pick-up line at them? Somebody should have told him that some things are simply better covered up. As for Eve in the Garden of Eden, she hasn't even been given a fig leaf to cover her naughty bits. Tisk, tisk, shameless hussy. I turn the corner and immediately discover that this is in fact no accident. This is a community pubic park, a large notice proclaims. I hurry on, covering my blushes, which no doubt everyone else thinks are the result of the very hot temperatures today. Around another corner is an aircraft that last time I was here looked abandoned for total lack of interest. But this time there are steps going up inside. 10 kwai to look inside an old aircraft? You kidding? But my companion has already parted with some hard-earned cash before I even notice, and I find myself all but pushed up the steps into a lovely air-conditioned interior. I stand in front of the AC, blasting out freezing cold air, which soon gets warmed up by the outside atmosphere. It's bliss just standing there, well worth the 10 kwai. Everywhere there are pictures of former leader Deng Xiaoping. I count over 20 of them. And it's not long before we twig that this used to be Deng's private jet, though why it's ended up in an amusement park is anyone's guess. Naturally, there's a queue of at least 3 people in front of me who want to have their selfies taken in front of the controls. Why should I not have my little slice of selfie history too? We exit the plane and the full force of the hot weather hits us. A cooling ice lolly is called for, which becomes a race against time as the yellow ice starts melting and trickling down the wooden stick. To see the dinosaur across the way, you'd think they were used to such soaring temperatures as this. Well, it sure looks a lot happier than the last dino I saw in the Paleontology Museum. But this park is all about geography, and if we concentrate, surely we can learn quite a bit about the big world around us. Take Manhattan, for instance. I'm led to believe this is a place in New York. Did you know that Will Street is its financial center? A little further on, we learn that China is the hometown of bridges. Okay. The same old 2-humped camel I saw 5 years ago is still being prodded to pose for photographs. I wave a hello at him, but I think his eyesight is fading as he hardly even recognizes me, poor thing. Other animals who have had their dignity taken away from them include some piglets, who are hardly old enough to know better, of course, and a wretched goat who is not only wearing what passes for a Rastafarian hat, but a pair of sunglasses too. I wonder how their owners would feel if they were made to suffer such an indignity. A heavy burst of drum fire hastens everyone across to the African village, where a group of Ugandans are making one hell of a din while wobbling their bottoms around a makeshift stage, educating the Chinese what life is really like in Africa. Apparently, this group of performers are flown out to Beijing every summer to wobble their bits to add to the international experience of the rubberneckers. Well, I guess every time you switch on CCTV Africa, that's all you see them doing, wobbling their bottoms and making a lot of noise. So now the visitors can say they've seen it for real. When I last visited the Forbidden City, I was told to look out for the anatomically impossible elephant statue. But blow me, they actually have one here as well, posing close to the Taj Mahal. Soon it's time to come face to face with the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. At least, that's what I thought it was, until seeing the notice that tells us that it is in fact the Al-Gubata Saka. I switch on my VPN and access Google. Nope, no mention of such a place. The notice tells us that it resides in one of the Holy Lands in Islamism and is one of the most prominent Islamism mosques in the world. It is said that the founder of Islamism, Muhammad, accompanied by angels, came from Mecca to Jerusalem. He stepped on a huge rock and went to heaven and received apocalypse. So that's what it's all about. Al-Aqsa? Pah! Me and my ignorance. But maybe my biggest learning curve in this park hits me in the face when I come across St. Peter's in the Vatican. It's the biggest Catholic church and the biggest igloo in the world. Well, I never. Not so much global warming as global chilling, I think. Finally, we come to the end of our world tour, in Denmark of all places. But please, Mr. Parkkeeper, can you please translate for me all those notices that appear with boring regularity around the lake? Dang erde wattet, they all read. Danger? Deep water, perhaps? I guess they don't call me a pedant for nothing.